Hello, welcome to today's tutorial, and today we will be talking about HTML forms. Alright, now we have the HTML form elements. The HTML form elements are used to collect user inputs. The HTML form element defines an HTML form. Okay, right. Now there is this is how to write an HTML form element. Okay, so as it's shown on the screen, this is how to write it. Write it this way. Why the other subsequent content comes in between the opening and the closing tags of the HTML form. HTML forms contain form elements. Okay, let me put it here also so you can really understand what I'm talking about. Okay. So this is how to write the tag, the HTML form elements. Alright. So HTML form contains form elements also. So form elements are different types of input elements: checkbox, radio buttons, submit buttons, and more. Okay. So now let's also talk about the input elements. The input element we use in the HTML form. And the input element is the most important form element. Okay, it has been written this way: inputs. Alright, so this is how you write your input elements. And the input element has many variations depending on the types of attribute. Meaning that in the in the input element you will have to include a type attribute. Okay, now the values of the type attribute defines the or makes the form varies, make the input values varies. Okay, so let's say we have a type of text. Alright, so now we have imputed the input element, and then we have given it an attribute type of text. Okay, so let's view it on our screen. Alright, so now there is a form here on our screen. So I click on it. You see I can input text inside of it. Okay, you can input text. That means you have created a space where a user can input whatsoever text you want him to input inside the form. Alright, so that is how the input element works. Okay, with the type attributes. So here are the type used in the chapter, the types of attributes used in this tutorial. Okay, we have the text, radio, submit, and file. We have many. Okay, so you can change this type to radio. Change it to radio. Alright, so I save it. Let me view it. Okay, you can see this, right? You can see a knob there. Alright, let me add a text to it, or let me duplicate this. Okay, I drop it. You see on my own, on my code editor, I've added labels, input, and their attributes. Okay, so the label element is used to define the heading of your input. Alright, the contents of your input, what that particular input is for. You can see there first name, last name. Okay, so for the gender, male or female. Okay, so you will choose if you're a male or you're a female. Then we have another one, upload a file. Okay, so I still use the label. Then the input, in the type, in the input type I put the file. You can see that the new file, value file. Okay, so now let's view it on my screen, so I'll come back and explain. Alright, so these are the following input I've added. Okay, is that the first two here are type. They are the text. Sorry, their types are text. Okay, so once you click on it, once you click on the first one, it's going to give you a chance to write a text. That is your first name. Okay, your first name. Then you click on the second one, it's going to give you a chance to write your last name. Okay, so you come down to male or female. You do see these on some forms, so you need to choose which gender you are. Then you come down to upload a file. All right, and submit button. But let me go and explain before we move further. Okay, now for the first one, I use the label inside the form elements. I use the label to state my first form heading, which is the first name. Then the input type is text, name, value name. All right, so the second is last name, using the label to label the heading, label my form. Okay, then the input type is still text, name, last name, value, last name. Okay, so this first one we're supposed to put here first name as the value, first name. Okay, first name, save as a value. Alright, so for the gender we have here male or female. Then the input type, after the label, the input type is radio. Then name is gender. Okay, so in both of the gender type is the name is gender, so that you can choose a particular radio at a time. So assuming I remove this gender away, okay, and I do away with this too, I save it, I go to my browser. You can choose both of them at the same time. Okay, it won't choose a particular one. So for you to make it choose one at a time, because definitely I don't know if someone can be both gender. Okay, so you need to make them choose one at a time. Alright, so that's for the radio. Then we come down to upload files. Now this one helps you to upload file from your phone or from your system down to the form you are filling. If it requires you uploading a file, then this is how it's been done. Okay, you use the file type in the input attribute. Use the file type in the input element. The type attribute is file. Okay, so then the submit button. So we go back in our browser, and now you can see the following listed types, okay, and form types. So I can choose on male and I can choose female if I'm a female. Then I can upload files from my system now. Okay, it's coming up. Alright, so here are my files. I can choose to upload this one. I can open up to 3 or 4. Okay, let me just select this one first. One selected. Alright, so now it shows that a file has been selected, but before it was telling me that no file was selected. Okay, alright, so if I refresh, you can see no file chosen. No file chosen, meaning that there's no file chosen yet. Alright, it tells me that no file is being chosen yet. So if I click on choose file, then I can choose any file of my choice and then move on. Okay, this is a screenshot. It shows that I've chosen a screenshot. Okay, mail, you put your first name, put your last name, and then the submit button. Alright, so the information is being submitted to nowhere. Okay, so that's how to use the input elements, okay, to create a form. Alright, there is still one other element I would like you to know. Let's use the field sets. The field sets and see how it works. Okay, few sets. I will take this guy down. Right, move it down. Okay, so I've added a few set elements. Now the few set element should be the opening tag of your few set should be written after the form opening tag, like mine now. Then at, at the bottom, still the same thing. You can see after my few sets, then the body. Okay, oh sorry about that. After my few sets, then the body. Where is it? Okay, look at it here. So after that, before, sorry, the form. Now you, after the few sets, then you have the form. Okay, so you shouldn't write the few set after the form. The form contains a few sets, then the few sets contains every other items. Okay, now let's view it on our browser so you can understand what I'm talking about. Okay, now you can see it, right? So this line that contains every item in our form is called the few sets. All right, it's called the few sets. All right, so this border going round, it's called the few sets. Okay, so now we are going to add another element again, which is called the legend element. Okay, so let's add that one. After the few sets, we move one line down, then legend. Okay, all right, so let's say um basic info. Okay, all right, all right, so you can see the location of our basic info, the legend element, right? So right here, the legend element breaks this few set line and appears between the lines. Okay, on the left, you can see. So that is what the legend element does. Okay, it helps text to break the few sets, alright, and appear in between the lines. And you can move it to any position still in this, like I move it to the middle, but I will show you that in my other videos that are coming up. Okay, so that is how you can build a basic form. All right, so thank you so much for following and watching this tutorial. Do well to subscribe to this channel for other videos we'll be dropping. Okay, so thank you very much. Hope you learned something. Okay, so you can always drop a comment in the comment section.